Hey guys, welcome to lesson 57 of Jazz Piano Daily. Today I am going to show you an easy 5-minute exercise so that you could practice your chord shells. Chord shells are super important. I talked about them back in lesson number 21. We're also using them for our In a Sentimental Mood lesson as well. So it's really important that you learn these chord shells. So if you need some help with forming the chord shells, go back to lesson number 21. All right, so here is the exercise. What you'll see here, let's do this first version first. I'll move this down. We'll do the first version first. Okay. All right, so now underneath here, you'll notice that you see R3 and R7. That means that this is a root third chord. All right, the chord symbol is E minor 7. And then A7, we're going to play the root and the third of the chord. Okay, so that's the E and the G. And we go to the A7, we play the root and the seventh. We do D minor, that's a what? Is it a root 3 or a root 7? See if you can figure it out, I'll tell it to you. It's a root 3. What about G7? This is a root 7. C major, that's a root 3. A7, that's a root 7. D7, notice the major third in here, that's a root 3. And then G7 again, this is a root 7. Now one question you might ask is like, well, how do I know when to switch from a root 3 to a root 7 or back and forth? Well, anytime that you're moving by like a fourth or a fifth, you're going to change, so if you were on root 3, then you go to root 7. If you were on root 7, then you go to root 3. Okay, so root 3. You'll notice also if I were to like play all root 3s, right, it kind of like feels a little bit weird like that, right? And also if I did all root 7s, I'm kind of still bouncing all over the place here. So this root 3 to root 7, notice how easy it makes it to be able to play this. Now you might think, oh, but are you ever really going to use this practically? Yeah. So there's Bouncing with Bud, and that's using just chord shells in the left hand. All right, so you'll notice that a lot of players will use those chord shells, even professional players, especially as the tempo gets faster. So it's really important to learn these. And then we kind of stack on top of it. So we might have E minor there, but then we can start to add stuff. A7, D minor, G7. Right, so we can start to add on top of that. Don't worry, we'll get into all of that kind of stuff as we move down the road. But for right now, you got to make sure that you know your chord shells. So start with this simple exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to put on the backing track and just try playing along with me. All right, I'm going to put it on 100 beats per minute, so it's a little bit slow. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Let's even bump this down to 80 for you. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually thumb and middle finger or thumb and second finger for the shell, for the root 3 shell. Thumb and second finger, thumb and pinky. Thumb and second finger, thumb and pinky. Whoops, actually I went to a D7. So thumb and second finger, thumb and pinky. So on the E minor, thumb, second finger. On the A7, thumb and pinky. D minor, thumb and second finger. G7, thumb and pinky. And then you could play thumb and middle finger, that's fine as well. Then thumb and pinky, thumb second, thumb pinky. All right, so let's try it again with the backing track. Here we go. Oops. Do that again. All right, good. So now let's take a look at the second version. The second version is doing exactly the same chords, but you notice now here I'm playing a root 7, then to a root 3. So all we've done is we've just flipped. So before we started with the root 3, this time now we're starting with root 7, and it allows you to kind of see, oh, then I go to my root 3. Then root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3. All right, so let's go through all of them. Root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3. Let's play it with the track. Here we go. Root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3. Now what's nice about these shells is it really opens up the sound, but you will notice that there are certain chords that, like, take a look at this D7. there's no third in there, so really that could be D7, could be also D minor 7 as well, right? Only when you have that third in there do you actually know what kind of chord it is. So this could be D7 or D minor. But that's perfectly fine to have that ambiguity when utilizing your chord shells, all right? Okay, so these chord shells in this exercise, if you were to practice this every day, just take 5 minutes to go through this, you're really gonna get down these chord shells. And then what you could do is go ahead and put the iReal Pro track on and just change the key. You know, move into the key of, say, F. So, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7, root 3, root 7. Okay, so you can play around with that and move it into other keys, and if you do that, you're really going to get down these chord shells, and you'll notice that it's really going to help you in your jazz piano playing moving forward. Now, if you'd like to grab the sheet music for the lesson, just go ahead back to jazzpianodaily.com. Ooh, I didn't write that so well. So jazzpianodaily.com, or take a look at that card that just popped up in the top right. Of course, leave your comments. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys in the next video.